Helium is also present in natural gases up to an extent of 2 to 7%. Noble gases have a very high stable electronic configuration of Ns2Np6 except helium, and they are very powerful fluorinating agents. What is it? They are very powerful fluorinating agents and they are readily hydrolyzed. As we come down the group, the electron gain enthalpy positive value goes on decreasing a little because of the size. Hello my dear students, welcome back to the last session on the chapter P block elements. Last class we had studied about hydrochloric acid, oxo acids and interhalogen compounds, isn't it? So today we'll start with group 18 elements, which is the last group in P block elements. Group 18 elements consist of helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. Radon is radioactive, whereas the others are gases and they are found in very small quantity in atmosphere. Thus they are also called as rare gases of atmosphere. Before that, they are also called as inert gases because they were chemically inert or they were not showing any kind of chemical reactions. However, we know that some of the gases now react to form some of the compounds and thus they are not called as inert gases anymore. They are called as noble gases. So, group 18 contains of noble gases: helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon is the one which is radioactive. Next we will see about its electronic configuration. Noble gases have a very high stable electronic configuration of Ns2Np6 except helium. Helium has the electronic configuration of 1s2. Why we call this as highly stable electronic configuration? You can see 6 plus 2, there are 8 electrons in the valence shell, that is it has attained octet and thus it is very stable. Also, these elements do not have any tendency to lose electrons nor to gain electrons. Thus, their valency is 0. Their combining capacity is 0. Thus, they are also called as chemically inert gases. Okay. Next, we will be learning about their occurrence. Except radon, the rest of the gases are there in very small quantity in the atmosphere. They are sparingly soluble in water. Also, argon is the major constituent, okay, and we have helium and neon which is also present in some of the minerals like pitchblende. Then we have monazite, elevite, etc. Helium is also present in natural gases up to an extent of 2 to 7%. Xenon and radon is the most rarest and radon is obtained from radium. By decay, we will get helium as well as we will get radon. That is, the decay of radium will give radon. Okay. So, this is the occurrence of noble gases. Next, we will be learning about the trends in physical properties. What happens to the atomic radii? As we come down the group, that is, we have helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon, isn't it? As we come down the group, the atomic size or atomic radii increases because the number of shells is going on increasing. Next we have ionization enthalpy. As they have already attained octet, they have a very high ionization enthalpy. They do not want to give away any electron because it is already in the stable configuration. But as we come down the group, the ionization enthalpy decreases. Okay. Next we have electron gain enthalpy. Now electron gain enthalpy of noble gases is positive. Why is it positive value? Because they do not have any affinity to take up electron. So if you have to put an electron into this atom, then you have to supply energy as well. That is, you have to give energy so that they will take up the electron. Thus, their electron gain enthalpy is positive value. And what happens as we come down the group? The electron gain enthalpy positive value goes on decreasing a little because of the size. Next property, if you see, it is melting and boiling point. They have a very low melting or boiling point, and also noble gases are monoatomic in nature. They are colorless, they are odorless, they are tasteless, and they are sparingly soluble in water. That is, they are not soluble in water also very easily. So they are all are monoatomic gases. That is, helium gas is just helium atom. It is not diatomic like oxygen or nitrogen, etc. Okay, so they all are monoatomic gases. And also their melting point and boiling point values increases with the increase in atomic number. That is, as we come down the group, the melting point and boiling point is going on increasing. Okay, why exactly it increases, or why do they have a very low melting and boiling point? That is because of weak dispersion forces. That is, they have a weak intermolecular forces, that is the van der Waals forces which exist between them. Thus, they have a very low melting point and the boiling point. Next, we learn about the chemical properties. So, the chemical properties of group 18 element, that is the noble gases, if we see, as they have 8 electrons in their valence shell, they do not react very easily. But then xenon reacts with platinum hexafluoride to give Xe plus PtF6 minus. Only xenon was found that it will react with more electronegative atoms like fluorine and oxygen to form some of the compounds. So, we will be learning which is the first compound which was discovered, or the first reaction, and then which are the different compounds of xenon which can be formed. So, xenon fluorine compounds, if you see, in 1962, N. Bartlett noticed that platinum hexafluoride is a powerful oxidizing agent, and it oxidizes oxygen O2 to O plus to form O2 plus PtF6 minus, an ionic compound. Okay. So, what did he see? He observed that platinum hexafluoride is a very good oxidizing agent. It oxidizes O2, oxygen, to O2 plus. That is, it is losing an electron, and platinum hexafluoride is accepting an electron to form an ionic compound. Also, Bartlett observed one more point, that is the xenon what is there. It is similar to oxygen, that is O2. How? The first ionization enthalpy of xenon, you can see 1170 kilojoules per mole, is very close to that of oxygen, that is 1166 kilojoules per mole. So, what is it? Their first ionization enthalpy, oxygen as well as xenon, they are very close to one another. Also, the diameter, that is the molecular diameter of oxygen, and the atomic radii of xenon are very similar, or again the values are very close to one another. So, he tried to do an experiment. Instead of taking oxygen and reacting it with platinum hexafluoride, he took xenon and tried the reaction with platinum hexafluoride, and he found that xenon reacts with platinum hexafluoride to form xenon hexafluoroplatinate. What is it? It's a coordination compound called as xenon hexafluoroplatinate was formed. So thus first compound of xenon was discovered by Bartlett, okay, or it was prepared by Bartlett, and the compound is XePTF6, xenon hexafluoroplatinate. Okay, so that's about the first compound of xenon. Next, it is found that xenon forms 3 more binary fluorides, XeF2, XeF4 and XeF6. That is, if we change the conditions of how xenon and fluorine are reacting, then we'll get a different compound. We can see here xenon with fluorine. Xenon is in excess here in this reaction. At 673 Kelvin and 1 bar pressure, you get XeF2. Xenon and fluorine in 1:5 ratio at 873 Kelvin and 7 bar pressure, you get XeF4, that is xenon tetrafluoride. Then if you take xenon and fluorine in 1:20 ratio at 573 Kelvin and 60 to 70 bar pressure, very high pressure, okay, you'll get xenon hexafluoride. Also, xenon hexafluoride is prepared by reaction of xenon tetrafluoride with O2F2 to form xenon hexafluoride and oxygen gas. So, these are some of the reactions how you can get different compounds of xenon, that is with fluorine. Also, XeF2, XeF4 and XeF6 are colorless crystalline solids that sublimes, that means from the solid state to the vapor state at 298 Kelvin, and they are very powerful fluorinating agents. What is it? They are very powerful fluorinating agents, and they are readily hydrolyzed with traces of water. You can see XeF2 with water, it forms xenon, hydrogen fluoride and oxygen gas is liberated. So they get hydrolyzed very easily. Okay. Next is structure of xenon fluorides can be deduced using VSEPR theory. XeF2 and XeF4 have linear structure and square pyramidal structure, whereas if you see XeF6, they have 7 pair of electrons. There is 6 bond pair electrons and 1 lone pair. What is it? XeF6 has got 6 bond pair and 1 lone pair, due to which it has got a distorted octahedral structure. More about structure I shall explain further, but if you see the reactions, some more reactions of xenon fluorides are there. Xenon fluoride with any fluorine ion acceptors, if it is there, what is it? Fluorine ion acceptors, then it will form a cationic complex and the fluoride ion it will give away. Okay, here also you can see if there are fluorine ion acceptors, it will give away one fluorine and it will form cations. And if xenon fluoride is reacting with a fluorine ion donor, then it will become a fluoroanion. You can see here xenon hexafluoride with MF, where M can be sodium, potassium, rubidium or cesium. What happens here is fluorine is donated and it becomes XeF7 minus. So it becomes a fluoroanion. Okay. So these are some more reactions of xenon fluorides. Next we have xenon oxygen compounds. So xenon fluorides, that is XeF4 and XeF6, with water when they react, we get xenon trioxide. You can see XeF4 with water, it forms xenon trioxide, hydrogen fluoride and oxygen is liberated. Or xenon hexafluoride, if I take with water, I'll get hydrogen fluoride and xenon trioxide. Also, partial hydrolysis of xenon hexafluoride will give oxyfluorides, that is xenon with oxygen as well as fluorine is present. You can see here xenon hexafluoride with partial hydrolysis, that is with water, you will get XeOF4 and hydrogen fluoride, or XeF6 with 2 molecules of H2O will form XeO2F2 and HF. So you can get two different types of oxyfluorides with partial hydrolysis of xenon hexafluorides. Also, XeO3, that is xenon trioxide, is a explosive solid and it has got a pyramidal structure. I'll explain this further. Also, XeOF4 is a colorless volatile liquid and has got square pyramidal molecular structure. You can see some of the structures here. First one, you can see it is linear, that is XeF2. There are 3 lone pair of electrons and 2 bond pairs. Here you can see it is square planar, that is you have 1, 2, 3, 4, that is XeF4. You have 4 bond pairs and 2 lone pairs. So it is square planar. Here you can see this is XeF6. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 1 lone pair is there. That's why it is distorted octahedral. You can see the square pyramidal structure of XeOF4. Xenon with oxygen, it has got double bond and single bonded fluorine atoms and 1 lone pair of electron is present. Then we have pyramidal structure of XeO3 with 3 double bonds and 1 lone pair of electron. It is a very important topic for your exam, because several times they have asked you to give the structure or draw the structure of different xenon compounds. Okay. Next we will go to the uses. Uses of noble gases are many. First we will see about uses of helium. Okay. Helium gas has got several uses. We know that helium is used for filling balloons. Why exactly it is used? Because it is light and inflammable and it is used in filling airship and balloons for the study of weather. Okay, first thing. Second, it is used as a diluent of oxygen in the oxygen cylinders of divers. That is because helium at a very high pressure also it will not dissolve in blood. That's the reason helium is used as a diluent or in the oxygen cylinders of the divers. And also it is used in research work to maintain low temperature. To get inert atmosphere in a reaction we use helium. Also it is used to fill aeroplane tires because we need it light and this is a light gas, isn't it? It's also used for preparation or production of powerful superconducting magnets, which is used in MRI scanning machines, that is magnetic resonance imaging it is used. Okay. Last, it is also used for food preservation as it is giving a inert atmosphere. So these are some of the uses of helium. We'll see about the other gases, that is about neon. Neon gives an orange red color. If we see the uses of neon, it is used in signboards and in discharge lamp, as the neon light has got orange red color and it is visible from a very long distance. That is, you can see it is used in any of the harmful instruments, or it is used on the road to, the signboards are there which is put, or you can see the stickers which is there, it is with neon which gives an orange red color because it is visible from a very long distance. Okay, so thus it's used in signboards. Also it is used in safety devices for protecting electrical instruments. Also it is used in bulbs, which is used in botanical garden and in greenhouses. Okay, so that's the uses of neon. Next we are going to argon. It is used for filling incandescent metal filament electric bulbs. It is used as rectifiers and fluorescent tubes, and it is used to produce inert atmosphere during welding or extraction of various metals. Okay. Next is krypton and xenon. There are no much uses of krypton or xenon. Some of them are, they are used in filling the bulbs. Okay. Then they are considered as superior to argon for this purpose. Okay. And also krypton 85 is used to determine the thickness of the metal sheets and plastic sheets, and also to regulate the voltage in electronic tubes. Krypton 85 is used. Okay. The last one is radon. It is used in radiotherapy of cancer. To check the defects in steel casting, we use radon. So these are some of the uses of noble gases. I hope you have understood this chapter. Next class, I shall start with the new chapter, polymers. So I hope you have understood. Thank you, my dear children. Stay tuned, stay focused.